Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new episode of At the Buzzer Sports, where we talk all things basketball all the time. And the 2025-2026 opening night has just commenced, and we watched the Oklahoma City Thunder take down the Houston Rockets and the Golden State Warriors take down the Los Angeles Lakers. And all day, you guys are going to get film breakdowns of the things I found most interesting last night. And the first player we're going to be talking about is one of the three most impressive young players of the first game, the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Houston Rockets, and that player is Alperen Sengun. Alperen Sengun just came off a game where he had 39 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists. And the most impressive thing to me is some of the biggest critiques I had of him last season are kind of changed, and he really made some efforts to really changing his play style, and I think it benefits the Houston Rockets way more than people could think. And I know the Houston Rockets just signed Kevin Durant, and he is the best offensive player for this Houston Rockets team, but I think Alperen Sengun can be the driving force of what makes this offense good enough for the Rockets to be championship contenders, even without a true point guard. Last night, the thing that we had critiqued the Houston Rockets for the most was not having a point guard, and I think that showed up late in the game. But I also think there is a world where Alperen Sengun can still be the main and primary playmaker for this team, and that requires him to be in the middle of the floor. And I wasn't as high on Alperen Sengun last year as I am opposing to the first game of this season, because I believe that he was a very talented shot creator. I think he had very good footwork. I think he had really good craft around his post moves. But the part that I had trouble with was him converting those shots. The finishing around the rim was lackluster. The mid-range shooting was lackluster. And the three-point shooting was lackluster. And a lot of it felt as though he needed the ball in isolation to create, and it didn't seem like he was as good enough of a scorer to demand those many isolation attempts in a half-court offense to really justify him having that much attempts. And before we even get started into the film breakdown, I also do want to say that this is the very first game of the NBA season. There are so many different things that can happen throughout the course of an 82-game sample that I don't want to get too held up on one game, but it is very intriguing to see some of the adjustments that Alperen Sengun has made to his game, and today we're going to talk about it. Okay, so for those who do not know Alperen Sengun, he usually sets up shop around the elbow. Whether it's the right elbow or the left elbow, he's looking to get in isolation so he can play around the post and get the easy layup, or to pass the ball once the defense collapses or sends an extra defender. But in this possession here, I really like the quick game, or him just grabbing and going. And here, he's going to get the ball on the perimeter. Chet runs out to the three-point line because at this time, Alperen Sengun has hit a few jump shots. So instead, pump fake, he puts the ball on the floor against one of the best big men defenders in the league, by the way, and then easy spin move and gets a clean look at the rim. Now, it doesn't fall, but I feel as though that is a really good look for Alperen Sengun. I also want there to be a serious emphasis on the team he's going up against. This is where ball handling bigs with a slower first step or a slower handle go to die. This is OKC. They made Jokic look bad. They made Jaren Jackson look bad. They made Julius Randle look bad. There was moments where Pascal Siakam looked bad in the playoffs as well. And Alperen Sengun made some really good decisions with the ball. He gets the ball. He notices the smaller Alex Caruso on him. He gains territory around the place where he likes to work the most, which is the elbows. He gets to the elbow. The second they send help, he swings it to the corner, and this is a no-look pass. He's looking at Amen Thompson right here. His eyes are on Amen Thompson right here, and he swings it to the wing for a wide-open Josh Okogie three. Now, does he knock it down? Oh, he actually did. Okay. So what makes me so high on this version of Alperen Sengun, if he can consistently play this way throughout the season, is he has a really good combination of strength, polish, craft, touch, and playmaking. That's not a lot of traits that a lot of centers can put all together and merge it into one player. And let's not forget, he's also a really good defender as well. But you see him attacking Chet Holmgren. Once again, I have to remind you guys, this is one of the best defenses that we have seen post 2000. And Alperen Sengun puts the ball on the floor and attacks Chet Holmgren straight in his chest and creates a really good look for himself, finishing through the contact. Another possession where he's being guarded by, I can't tell you who that is, but he gets the lane here. He spins back to attract the defender that's guarding the shooter, which is Reed Sheppard on the floor, swings it immediately. And Reed Sheppard gets a wide open three. knocks it down. Now, we all know Reed Sheppard did not have the best game against OKC. This is his first real game, in my opinion, going against the best defense in the league. I actually give Reed Sheppard a little bit of slack in this game, a little bit of slack, but I do think Reed Sheppard can be very viable on offense if he's playing with Alperen Sengun. Alperen Sengun is somebody that can handle the ball and set a really good screen. So here, he sets up this easy DHO with Reed Sheppard. Reed Sheppard's going to come across. He's not going to have the three-point shot, but he's going to have a lane where he can collapse the defense, and now the read gets simple. The read gets simple, and it's just an easy kick out to Josh Okogie. Now, does Josh Okogie make the shot? No, he doesn't. But that is a really good look, and it's more opportunity for Reed Sheppard to be able to build reps, making decisions, whether it's swinging to Alperen Sengun, taking the floater here, or swinging to Josh Okogie, or maybe even the laydown pass to Steven Adams, or the skip pass to Jabari Smith here in the corner. It's all up to Reed Sheppard. If you can go and give Sheppard more reps like this where he's playing, because I think this is probably where Reed Sheppard can be best. Whether it's playing in the DHO, whether it's having off-ball actions ran for him, I don't think he's an on-ball creator, and there's nothing wrong with that. But again, you set up the easy DHO, Alperen Sengun sets a good enough screen to where Reed can get a driving lane, and now he can make 3 decisions. He can make 4 decisions. He can make one pass away to Josh Okogie, who's wide open in the corner. He can make the pass to the top of the key to Alperen Sengun for a wide open 3, or he can make the skip pass to the corner to Jabari Smith. Neither of these passes are bad passes. You're just setting up the reps and the quickness. You know, he's probably going to take the pass that's one pass away because he's a young guard, you know, but you set up that easy look for him. Or he can just go for the pull-up mid-range shot that he hit earlier in the night in this same exact play, I would believe, or at least a pass off of Sengun. So again, you get a really good look for Josh Okogie. It doesn't fall, but 9 times, I wouldn't even say 9 times out of 10, but there are going to be possessions where those shots fall. And I think the progression as a passer that we've seen from Sengun throughout preseason and now is something that is going to be talked about a lot more. Once again, I think it's just the speed of the decision-making, making the pass as soon as the double arrives and kicking it out to shooters is something that I really value. And just him not being able to, or not holding onto the ball too long in isolation, making his move, collapsing the defense, and making the pass that's one pass away, making the pass to the paint, or finding cutters is something that I find really valuable in just how fast you do it. So you see him putting the ball on the floor right here, but he finds an opening in the paint where there's a 6'3" Cason Wallace, a 6'6" Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and a 6'5" Aaron Wiggins with a 6'11" Jabari Smith cutting to the basket. He puts the ball right where it needs to be, and Jabari is able to finish over the smaller defenders. It's just small things like that. He realizes that, hey, the only big for the Thunder right now is on the perimeter guarding me. I have this 6'11" forward who's cutting to the basket, and there's nobody within 5 inches of him in height that's going to contest that shot. Let me just put it right where it needs to be, put it up high because nobody's going to be able to reach it, especially not Cason Wallace. He's going to come down with it, and he's going to go up for the easy 2. It's the decision-making, it's the accuracy, it's the timing. All those things were on display in that play right there. And the Houston Rockets might be one of the most unorthodox teams in the league. You're going to see possessions where Alperen Sengun's bringing the ball up the floor, Amen Thompson, Kevin Durant, Reed Sheppard, Jabari Smith, it doesn't matter. But as soon as he brings the ball up the floor, what does Alperen Sengun do? He doesn't waste time figuring out what he's going to do. He sets a fake screen, crosses over, puts it right in Chet's chest. Right in his chest. And also, you have a really good, one of the best cutters in the league in Amen Thompson. What does he do? As soon as the defense wants to collapse, he's going to find a lane to cut to the basket and create an easy shot. Even through all that traffic, he's still able to deliver this pass to Amen Thompson for the easy 2 points. And then again, this is still something I want to make sure people know. My problem with Alperen Sengun last season was never the shot creation, the craft, the footwork. It was always the conversion. It was always the play finishing. It was always the touch around the rim. That's what I had an issue with. Even with Alperen Sengun getting better as a defender, being better with his hands, being a solid rim protector, being able to guard wings out in space, he's still a very good defender to where if he has the touch around the rim plus the jump and playmaking, there's a legit top 5 center right here. This is legit a top 5 center. So I want you guys to look at what he's able to do in the post. Just as like footwork, craft, and being able to create a good look for himself means. Easy spin move, he's able to keep the ball close, and he finishes through contact. This is something we see from Alperen Sengun consistently. This has never been the problem. Creating the shot has never been the problem. For me, it's always been the play finishing and the finishing around the rim. That's always been the problem. And if Alperen Sengun can really build and develop into what we saw last night, obviously he's not going to be somebody that's averaging 39, 11, and 7, but I see a world where Sengun can seriously average maybe 25, 10, and 6, and that would be fantastic for Houston. To where maybe in a playoff setting, Kevin Durant will still probably be your best offensive player, but throughout the regular season, I can understand Alperen Sengun being the driving force of this offense, while Kevin Durant kind of coasts through the regular season just because of age and you don't want him to get hurt. But all in all, like this, for a team that does not have a point guard, I didn't hate what the Houston Rockets put out against the Oklahoma City Thunder today. I think Alperen Sengun looked really comfortable in some of his reps, whether that was on the perimeter, whether that was in the post, whether that was the shot making. He hit a transition 3. He had a face-up mid-range jumper that he hit plus the foul. Like, Sengun is really good. And last year, a lot of people had a lot to say about him making the All-Star team. I think this year, if he continues this level of play, he's going to be an All-Star, no problem. And like I said, you do have to kind of take this with a grain of salt because this is the very first game of the season and a lot of things could happen throughout the course of an 82-game season. But I think you doing this against the best team in the league, which also capitalizes on Sengun's play style as much as they do and him succeeding the way he did, I think that's pretty big, and I think that's something that has to be talked about. So ladies and gentlemen, if you guys like this type of content, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at @thebuzzersports_. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at ATBSports1. Make sure you guys follow me on TikTok at @TheBuzzerENT. And make sure you guys join my playback room where we are going to be streaming games all NBA season. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.